people that comes after you. So the problem with people on the right-hand side is that they are not so informed. They are not so well organized. They don't see themselves as victims. Not that that's a problem, but that coincides, the whole issue about victimhood, with other trends like wokeness, to be politically correct, to accommodate, to be inclusive, the DEI concept, that you can be inclusive, but at the same time we should encourage diversity, and diversity, if you push it too far, then it comes to identity politics, and that's another global trend. And identity politics focus on the person, the classification of people in a group, not as an individual. So I would say, for example, I'm a white man in Namibia, and just by starting this video, if I've said that, then you could have expected already something from me, because I identify with that specific group. If I've said, for example, I'm a professor, then it's very important probably for me to be intellectual, or to be well educated. And that's why I haven't said that, for example. So, and that's the problem with minority groups that contribute to the growth of diversity, that they see themselves as victims, and that over time they organize themselves very well. They scream the loudest and demand things that's not logic and that doesn't make sense, and it's not in the national interest of a country necessarily. And most of the times it seems it's not the case. So for example, the whole issue about the race, critical race theory, affirmative action, preferential treatment of people, even the spoils system in America are based not on merit. And that means if something is not based on merit, you basically say equality of output is possible, which is not the case. Differentiation between people based on the past, and based on skin color, and based on gender preferences, are not based on merit. So that means that equality of output is an injustice. It cannot bring sustainability. While at the same time we have the Sustainable Development Goals of the World Economic Forum, that's been situated in Switzerland. So you actually see that what is claimed to be possible as a progressive development in terms of sustainability is not the case, because equality of output is a disservice to the community, and it's not sustainable. And so that is a very important point that I think people don't always realize, that although everybody should have equal opportunities, we should not discriminate against people that are more productive, people that inherited some wealth, people that have not participated in the past in colonialism, or even if they did, maybe your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th generation before me contributed to some form of colonialism, because I'm part British, I'm part Dutch, I'm part German, and I'm Afrikaans. So I'm quite a hybrid. So somewhere along the line there should have been colonialism. But does that make me accountable for inequality of output, that I should pay for colonialism, that I should pay for apartheid, that I should pay for neocolonialism or imperialism, for being a white man? The answer is absolutely no. Because how far back into history should you go to compensate people for example, things like these labeling and and discrimination that I've mentioned that is prevailing in Namibia and also in the world currently, where the labeling of being white and a white man being identified as part of the apartheid system, part of the colonialistic, imperialistic Western system, while I'm a white African, actually, as Ben Frith, when he delivered his, there was a movie made about him, that's the guy that have won a court case, SADC tribunal court case against Mugabe, in order to give back, that Mugabe should return his expropriated farm to Ben Frith, white African. And then to explain to you that it is possible to be a white African. And there was a movie made about that specific. So what I'm trying to say is that we cannot go back into the past to differentiate in terms of discrimination against people and based on affirmative action. Doesn't matter how theoretically sound such an argument can be. It cannot be moral, and it's not honest about the future, because political parties tend to focus always on the past and not on the future, not on the present problems. By making promises of free housing, free education, free medical care, and several other promises that can only be delivered by private sector if the private sector is allowed to flourish, and which is in a socialistic state to more or less, and rather less, state of affairs, not the case, which is not possible. So in a socialistic state like Venezuela, where people eat animals in the zoo, and Zimbabwe,